Hi, folks. Here we are. Here's Kori here at Heartline Ranch in Chiloquin, Oregon. She's getting ready to start her kiln for the first time. She's done this for a long time, and this is a kiln that we just bought for her about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And first thing we had to do, as you notice, we had to take and put sheets of they call that concrete board to keep it from burning. And then we have it down on concrete board and all kinds of rocks. So hopefully we're trying to make sure all the fire stays in the kiln. Isn't that right, Kori?
Yeah, that's right. Actually, people get more afraid of kilns. You have to be, it's pronounced kill, like K-I-L-L, when it's K-I-L-N. And you have to have respect for it. It's got a lot of power. But even with gas kilns, when the fire is going up, it's all contained. And so you have to be aware of what the dangers are and be respectful of it. This is called kiln wash. It makes up like a creamy substance that's kind of like a white powdered milk that you have to paint on the kiln shelves.
What's it look like?
It looks like this white
Litty, like a powder.
powdery stuff.
That looks like baby powder.
Mixed with water. Oh, believe me, it's not. Anyway, you have to paint that on the kiln shelves. As you can see over here, this kiln shelf with the white on it, that's what that is.
Oh, okay.
Only there's spots that are missing, so I'm going to have to paint that before I use it. But today I'm doing what's called an ASD firing. And what that means is it's a test firing for the first time I ever use the kiln. So it's always good to have a safety glove, which I don't quite need yet because it's not on. And also a chart that I keep every time I do a firing. And this chart tells me what cone I used, what was the result, how long it fired, and that kind of thing.
Well, what in the world's a cone?
A cone is this little thing here. It's made out of the clay that melts at the temperature that you need the kiln to go to. And without a long lecture about temperatures, this is an 019, which means it's a below the cherry red firing. Okay? And so I'm going to lift up my shelf, my lid. And it's got an automatic catch on it here. Okay? This kiln we just bought, it's in great shape. Bricks are intact. It's also twice the size of my old kiln, so it's very intimidating.
We could put you in there and put the lid on.
Yeah, you could, and I'd scream a lot. But so now what I'm going to do, you can see these 3 pegs inside are what hold the
3 pegs, okay.
These 3 pegs right here are what hold the temperature on, okay? So what I have to do is kind of a twofold thing. On the outside, bring it on the outside. On the outside, I have to bring the claw up and hold it down like that, because that, when it shuts off, turns off, it disconnects the electricity.
Okay.
So if you look on the inside, you can see that thing moving. That's what holds the kiln, the cone. Okay. Now if I move the cone down this way where the cone is thinner, it has a shorter firing time, and up where it's thicker, it has a longer firing time. I want to put it in the middle because I want to see how this cone fires. And so then it holds that claw up. Okay?
And I'm here to say that it looks like that to me. Of course,
Okay.
you're talking as long as I've been with Kori, I've never paid attention to her how she did this procedure before, so I know absolutely nothing.
Okay. So this is overglaze, which is the lowest temperature. So I'm going to turn it to overglaze. That way. And I'm going to turn this one. So this controls the top collars. And this controls the bottom collars. I'm going to put it over on overglaze as well. And basically what I'm going to do is check to see if minimum, maximum, low. I've got it pointed to maximum low. I want to see if everything fires like it's supposed to.
And how will you know this?
When it reaches temperature, the cone will melt and switch it off.
Oh, okay.
And if it doesn't, then it won't. But this is also another guide here. This is a precaution for the amount of time fired. Okay? And I don't want it to fire over 4 hours. So that's the timer on it. So now everything is set, but it's not on. You can see the light is off. So what I'm going to do now is close the lid. And push in the power button.
Okay. Whoop, I hear noise.
So now the light is on. The ports are open. Okay. The ports, when I have a full load, are what controls the draft that reaches the pottery ware that you're firing inside. So today I don't want to test it on any pottery yet. You have to isolate it, kind of like when you're looking for somebody if they have an allergy. You take away all the food and you add one supply on at a time. This way I want to check all these safety devices and make sure they switch off when they're supposed to. This also tells me if all the elements heat up the way they're supposed to. Okay? And so if it doesn't reach temperature by 4 to 5 hours, which is what I have this set, this will shut it off, ideally.
Okay.
Okay?
So you would, how long do you need to like stand here and babysit it to see how it's doing?
Well, I like to watch it a lot, but I don't have to stand here any more than this.
Oh.
And this kiln also has an automatic device on it, which will heat it up automatically. But since I'm from the old school of firing, I don't usually trust it.
There's some things I could say there about the old school.
And you'll be nice enough not to.
No, not me. I'm not going there since I'm older.
Yeah, you're much older than me. Okay, so on my thing here, I'm going to make a little mark. This is the size of a cone to show where I put it in the center. So I put it exactly in the center. If I put it down to the skinny part, it fires, it melts quicker. If I put it up here, it melts longer. So I wanted an average fire, and I put it in the middle. I wrote down here cone 019 so I'd know, and I put the date for there. Okay? And it is, what time is it? I don't know, I'll write the time in when I check it.
I couldn't tell you.
And this is the journal that I keep all the time. Up here on my little cheater things, overglaze is low, ceramic is medium, and high glaze is high. In hobby kilns, they just say low, medium, and high. But this is a professional kiln, so you have to know what the different measurements are here that they put on it. Okay? So, hopefully everything's going to heat up the way it should. It sounds like it is.
Well, it's making noise.
There's a little heat coming out of here. And there's a little heat coming out of here. And there's not much heat coming out of here. So it might mean that the top heats up a little hotter than the bottom. And I'm going to have to adjust for that when I fire pottery in it. But
So, yeah, I was going to say, does that matter?
It does matter. Because heat rises. And so I'm going to want it to get hot faster down below. So that means I keep the top part, if this is what's happening, I'll keep the top part off until later on in the firing. That's why I don't want to use the automatic firing, because I want to be able to adjust it to what it's doing. But the fact that I'm getting heat especially in these two. This one I'm not getting heat yet, so it might be in the move that some of those wires got disconnected, and I'll have to take apart the box and make sure and screw them tighter, because they probably just jarred loose in the move. But this is what we do. We have to check it a lot of times before we actually fire the pottery. So we will get back to you later on what's going on with this, and I'll keep my notes here. And you can see that there's a lot more. I was really disgruntled as a college student to find out that I had to take chemistry. Because that meant I had to have math. And all those things I said, well, I'm never going to use this in my life. I didn't realize being a potter meant I was going to have to use math and chemistry. So that was a grave disappointment for me. But since I had to use it, I got pretty good at it. Now let's see if I can remember it.
Boy, chemistry class for me was just a total waste of the teacher's time.
The only way it was important to me was if I could get blue instead of milky white. because the colors change according to the temperature. They have a different molecular release time. So I bet you guys didn't realize I was a science nerd when I wanted to be an artist. So these two are showing, this is showing more heat than this.
You can smell the heat out here.
Yeah, because it's the first time the coils oxidize whenever they are on. So this one's doing good. This one's still doing good. This one isn't doing quite as much.
But is it coming on at all?
I have no way of knowing until we run it.
All right.
No way of knowing. But if it's not, it's probably more that, because it's had good treatment, it's probably more that the wires might have juggled loose in the move.
Okay.
And then I can tighten it. So,
well, the mystery will be solved later.
this is my life.
All right.
This is why sometimes being a painter is more fun than being a potter, although pottery is great. But you can go through all of the work of pottery and have things explode in the kiln or melt down or not fire right. And so the seductive part of it is when everything fits together and all the planets align, you get some wonderful pottery. But that's one reason why we charge a lot for our pottery, is because I'm charging for my knowledge to get all of the planets lined up so you can have some pottery. Okay,
all right.
So that's about it.
Okay, we'll check back tomorrow.
Okay, see you then.
I thought I stopped it, but it didn't stop. It's not stopping.